Imagine closing your eyes, not to escape, but to wander back to a place both celebrated and misunderstood. Tonight, let us drift together into the heart of ancient Athens, a city of brilliance, of marble and voices, but also of shadows and silence. A place not only of philosophers debating under the olive trees, but of merchants haggling over figs, of women carrying water at dawn, and of slaves whose footsteps were quiet but essential. Before we step further, let me ask you something gentle. Where are you listening from tonight? Is it a quiet room in the late hours, or a busy city where you are carving out a pocket of calm? And what time is it for you? Midnight? Or perhaps the early morning when the world outside is still hushed? Let us know in the comments, because your presence here shapes this shared journey. And we would love to know where in the world you are resting. Now picture yourself standing at the edge of the Agora, the great marketplace of Athens. The air is alive with scents of oil, honey cakes, the tang of wine. Voices mingle, merchants shouting, children running, citizens pausing to discuss politics that might one day make their way into history books. But as we move slowly, remember, this is not the shining postcard Athens you may imagine. For behind the white columns and grand ideas are people who worried about food, who mourned their dead, who feared disease, and who lived lives more ordinary than legendary. This is the Athens we will explore tonight. Calmly, slowly, step by step, through marble halls and smoky kitchens, through temples and battlefields, until we rest beneath the olive trees of memory. Part 1. A city of marble and shadows. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the city of Athens, nearly 2,500 years ago. The sun is rising over the Aegean, a soft gold light spilling across the rooftops. From a distance, the city looks almost otherworldly. The hill of the Acropolis shines like a beacon, its marble temples catching the first rays of day. Ships arrive at the port of Piraeus, their sails white against the blue sea, their hulls creaking as they glide into harbor. To a traveler approaching from the waves, Athens appears as the jewel of Greece, radiant, powerful, untouchable. But step closer. Let us wander not as distant admirers, but as quiet observers. Leave behind the polished postcards of memory, and let us enter the city as it truly was, a place of contradictions, of beauty mixed with struggle, of marble standing tall above streets of dust, a city of marble and shadows. The streets you now walk are narrow, twisting, worn by centuries of footsteps. Most houses are not the marble palaces we imagine, but simple structures of mud brick. Their walls plastered and painted in pale colors, patched and repaired again and again. Roofs are flat, tiled in clay, where families sometimes sleep on hot summer nights to catch the breeze. The ground beneath your sandals is hard-packed earth, scattered with pebbles. Listen to the sounds around you. Chickens cluck in courtyards. Dogs bark at strangers passing by. A woman calls to her children to fetch water from the fountain house at the corner. Merchants push carts that creak and rattle under their weight. Life here is noisy, messy, and alive. Smell the air. There is smoke from hearth fires where bread bakes, filling alleys with the warm, nutty scent of barley loaves. Olive oil sizzles in clay pots. Wine, sharp and sour, is poured into amphorae. But alongside these pleasant aromas is the tang of waste, for sanitation is primitive and gutters run openly. Athens is a city of light, but also of smells, textures, and imperfections that made up daily existence. Now, lift your gaze again to the Acropolis above. The temples gleam in sunlight, and to the citizen looking up from the crowded streets, they must seem eternal, divine.
Ow.
Yet the hands that built them were ordinary. Picture the stonemason striking his chisel into marble, sweat beading on his brow, his hands blistered, his shoulders aching. Think of the slave hauling water to quench the worker's thirst, unseen in the records, but vital in the labor. Imagine the women at home preparing meals for the men returning dusty and exhausted. The marble columns that tourists admire today were once born of calluses, toil, and fatigue. Athens, for all its grandeur, was never just philosophy and democracy. It was survival. Let us step into one of the homes. The doorway is low. You must duck slightly as you enter. Inside, the walls are bare, but for a few painted patterns. The floor is hard-packed earth, swept clean. A hearth burns faintly in the center, smoke escaping through a hole in the roof. Around the fire, clay pots hold stew of lentils and onions. A small wooden chest contains precious possessions, a cup painted with mythic scenes, a comb of carved bone, perhaps a tiny charm to ward off illness. In the courtyard, chickens peck at the ground, and an old olive tree casts shade. Children play here, rolling hoops, tossing knucklebones, laughing in bursts that echo against the walls. A mother weaves cloth on a loom, her shuttle clicking softly. Life in Athens was often described in lofty words, but for most, it was lived in such quiet, repetitive rhythms. Step back into the streets. The city stirs more fully as the morning passes. Farmers from the countryside arrive with carts full of figs, olives, and vegetables. Calling out their wares as they enter the Agora, craftsmen open their workshops. Potters shaping clay on spinning wheels. Bronzesmiths hammering tools, sandal makers sewing leather straps. Each sound is part of the city's music. Picture the contrast. On one side, citizens gather to debate laws, voices sharp with rhetoric. On another, slaves bend to their tasks, their own voices hushed. Athens, the so-called cradle of democracy, reserved its privileges for a fraction of its people. Women, foreigners, and slaves lived in the shadows of its marble ideals. The city's brilliance stood upon the shoulders of those it kept silent. Pause here. Look around you with soft eyes. Notice the children weaving through the streets with baskets, their bare feet dusty. Notice the elderly man leaning on his staff, watching the bustle with eyes that have seen wars, plagues, and triumphs. Notice the stray dogs trotting after fishmongers, hoping for scraps. These lives, quiet and unrecorded, were as much Athens as the speeches of Pericles or the dialogues of Plato. As noon approaches, the sun beats down. Shadows shrink, and the air grows heavy. People retreat into shaded courtyards. Merchants wipe sweat from their brows. Children grow drowsy, lying in the cool patches of shade. Even the dogs stretch out, tongues lolling, eyes half closed. And the city slows, breathing softly in the heat. But Athens does not sleep for long. The afternoon cools, life surges again. Citizens gather at fountains, women carrying jars of water balanced on their shoulders. Friends sit in circles, sipping watered wine and talking of news. In workshops, artisans continue their craft, the steady rhythm of tools echoing down alleys. And when the day fades, the city transforms once more. Imagine the glow of lamps appearing one by one, their flames flickering in windows and courtyards. The scent of stews fills the air, garlic and herbs carried on the breeze. Families gather, tearing bread, dipping it in olive oil, sharing stories of the day. A child leans sleepily against a parent. A lyre is plucked softly in the distance, its notes floating like a lullaby. Above it all, the Acropolis stands in silhouette against the twilight sky. The Parthenon glows faintly, torches flickering along its steps. The gods, carved in marble, watch in silence. Below them, the mortals rest, their lives fragile, fleeting, yet deeply human. This, then, is Athens, a city of marble and shadows. A city where brilliance and hardship intertwined, where philosophy was debated in the Agora, while mothers worried about food for their children. A city of temples and dust, of laughter and grief, of ideals and contradictions. As you drift deeper into calm tonight, let this image remain with you. History is not only the story of greatness, it is also the story of ordinary lives, of footsteps on dusty streets, of bread baking, of children laughing. Athens was never just one thing. It was many things at once. And that is what makes it timeless. Part 2. Farmers and the Fertile Plains. Life on the land. Imagine waking before the sun rises. the soft darkness of early morning still covering the plains around Athens. You feel the cool dew under your feet, and the air is filled with a quiet stillness that seems to hold its breath in anticipation of the day. The fertile plains stretch wide, green and alive, dotted with small farmhouses and scattered olive groves. You can hear the faint rustle of reeds near a distant river, the gentle murmur of water flowing slowly, steadily, a quiet companion to the land itself. Picture yourself walking along a dirt path, the earth soft and slightly damp, feeling the rhythm of the land beneath your steps. Farmers are already awake. Some move through the fields, their hands brushing against tall stalks of wheat that sway in the morning breeze. Others guide oxen or donkeys as they pull plows, carving straight furrows into the rich, dark soil. Imagine the sun beginning to peek over the horizon, its first rays stretching across the plains, painting the land with warm, gentle hues. Every surface glows faintly, every leaf and grain of soil catching the light, a quiet reflection of the day's potential. You might feel a soft sense of connection as you watch these rhythms, as if you too are part of the land's slow, deliberate heartbeat. Notice the careful way the farmers work. Each movement is intentional and unhurried. The plow cuts the earth steadily, the oxen responding calmly to gentle commands. You may hear the soft creak of wooden yokes, the low murmur of an ox, the faint sound of soil moving against metal and wood. These sounds are not harsh. They are comforting in their consistency. You can almost imagine that each furrow, each seed sown, carries a quiet promise of growth, a gentle reassurance that life continues even in its simplest forms. Picture women carrying baskets of freshly harvested grains or vegetables, moving slowly along narrow paths. Their steps are measured, their hands steady, their eyes calm as they navigate uneven ground. Occasionally, a child runs alongside, holding a small bundle or skipping stones near a riverbank. You can hear their soft laughter blending with the morning birdsong, a delicate melody that enhances the peaceful rhythm of the plains. Life here is defined not by haste, but by the steady cadence of work, care, and attention. Think of the variety of crops being cultivated. Fields of wheat and barley ripple gently in the breeze. Olive groves offer their silvery leaves and eventual fruit. And small gardens provide vegetables and herbs for daily use. Each plant is tended with patience and care. Farmers rotate crops, observe the soil, and check the growth of each stalk, each root. Imagine kneeling beside a young sapling or a small patch of barley, feeling the earth's coolness, noticing how each leaf glistens with dew, listening to the gentle hum of life around you. Now, imagine the routines of the day. Farmers rise early to take advantage of the soft morning light, working steadily until the sun reaches its zenith. Meals are simple and nourishing, often bread baked from the previous day's grain, accompanied by olives, cheese, or figs. You might see a family sitting together under a shade tree, sharing quiet conversation or a gentle laugh.
Ow.
The sunlight dappled through branches above. Each day follows a calm rhythm, defined by the sun, the soil, and the seasons. A slow unfolding of life that requires both patience and attention. Consider the bond between humans and animals here. Oxen pull the plows, donkeys carry baskets, and dogs patrol the fields, their presence steady and reassuring. These creatures are more than laborers. They are companions, participants in the rhythm of the land. You can imagine the soft sounds of their breathing, the touch of their coats, the gentle click of hooves on soil. Even these small, often overlooked sounds contribute to the quiet symphony of life on the plains. Think of the changing seasons which guide every aspect of farming. Spring brings new shoots, fragile and green, promising growth and abundance. Summer warms the earth, ripening grains and fruits, demanding careful attention and steady work. Autumn offers the reward of harvest, a slow, deliberate collection of the land's bounty, while winter slows life to a softer pace, a time for preparation, repair, and reflection. Imagine standing in a field in each season, feeling the textures, noticing the colors, breathing in the scents, letting each moment anchor you in calm awareness. Notice also the tools of labor, simple but essential. Wooden plows, sickles with curved blades, baskets woven from reeds all, crafted with care and maintained for years of use. Farmers handle them with gentle familiarity, each movement intentional, each gesture purposeful. Imagine watching a farmer sweep a tool clean, rub it with oil, or adjust the yoke of an ox. The soft rhythm of hands performing small, necessary tasks. There is a quiet satisfaction in these repetitive, deliberate movements, a kind of meditative patience embedded in daily work. Picture the interactions between neighbors on the plains. Farmer may nod to another tending a distant field or share advice on soil, weather, or crops. These exchanges are gentle, not hurried, a subtle network of community woven across the land. Even disagreements are mild, resolved with words rather than force. You can imagine leaning against a fence post, observing these small human interactions, appreciating the understated harmony that binds the community together. Now consider the connection between the plains and the nearby city. Farmers provide the essential sustenance for Athens, transporting grain, olive oil, vegetables, and fruit to markets and homes. Their labor, steady and unassuming, supports the city's larger ambitions, even though it often goes unnoticed by those who walk the marble streets. Imagine carrying a basket of olives or a sack of grain toward the city, feeling the weight balanced against your shoulders, the soft friction of the path beneath your feet. Each step is a gentle reminder of the quiet, essential contribution of life on the land. Notice also the quiet moments of pause that occur naturally throughout the day. A farmer may rest under a tree, sipping water from a clay jug, letting the warmth of the sun soothe tired muscles. Children may sit by a riverbank, watching fish glide through clear water, or tracing the patterns of reeds swaying in the breeze. Women might pause to admire the growth of herbs or flowers in a garden, fingers brushing petals with careful attention. These moments, small and unremarkable, offer calm reflection, a chance to breathe and appreciate the gentle unfolding of life. As you continue to walk through the plains, allow yourself to absorb the subtle details. The soft murmur of wind through leaves, the faint scent of soil and ripening crops, the warm touch of sunlight on skin, the distant song of birds. Life on the land is measured, deliberate, and infused with quiet dignity. You can almost feel the pulse of the earth beneath your feet, steady and reassuring, anchoring the day and connecting all who labor upon it. Imagine the harvest approaching, with fields heavy with golden grains, olives nearly ready for pressing, and fruit ripening in shaded groves. The work remains slow and methodical, each plant carefully tended, each basket filled with care. You may picture families gathering to share meals in the fields, stories exchanged in low voices. Laughter soft and steady, the warmth of companionship blending with the calm rhythm of nature. Finally, as the sun dips toward the horizon, painting the plains in soft amber and rose, you can imagine the fields quieting, the oxen resting, and the farmers returning to their homes. The gentle pace of the day, the measured steps, the attentive care, all leave a lingering sense of calm. The fertile plains of Athens, alive with quiet work and simple beauty, remind us that history is not only in great monuments or heroic deeds, but in the steady, enduring rhythm of daily life, nurtured by hands, heart, and earth alike. Part 3. Temples and ziggurats. Touching the divine. Imagine walking through Athens in the soft glow of early morning. The city still stretching itself awake, its streets quiet and calm. In the distance, you see the majestic silhouettes of temples rising above the rooftops, their columns catching the first pale light of dawn. The air carries a faint scent of incense, mingling with the warmth of sunlit stone and the earthy aroma of olive groves nearby. Picture yourself approaching these sacred spaces, feeling a subtle quiet settle over you as you enter a world where the divine and the ordinary meet gently, in measured rhythms that have endured for centuries. The temples stand like silent witnesses, each one built with care, balance, and purpose. Marble columns rise in perfect alignment. Their surface is smooth but touched lightly by the weather and by hands of craftsmen who shaped them long ago. Imagine running your fingers gently along the grooves, feeling the cool hardness, imagining the care and patience required to create these structures. Every line and curve, every carved relief, reflects a desire to honor gods who are believed to walk among humans, influencing life, fortune, and the natural world. You can almost hear a faint whisper of prayers, soft and repeated over countless mornings, blending with the breeze. Near the temples, priests begin their gentle routines. You may see them sweeping stone floors, arranging offerings of oil, fruit, and small figurines, movements slow and deliberate, almost meditative. Their robes sway quietly as they walk, and the soft rustle of fabric is barely audible against the morning calm. Imagine standing a little way off, observing without intrusion, feeling the sacred rhythm of their daily devotion. The temples are not only places of spectacle, they're spaces of intimate routine, a connection between human effort and divine presence. Consider the people who come to the temples. Some arrive to offer morning prayers, their heads bowed, voices low. Others leave small gifts or light incense, movements careful, reverent. Children may follow elders, observing quietly, learning the soft gestures of worship. You might notice the slight creak of wooden doors, the faint sparkle of sunlight on polished bronze altars, the warmth of candlelight flickering gently in shaded corners. Even in these moments, life is quiet, measured, and deliberate, a gentle dialogue between humans and the sacred. Look closely at the artwork carved into the walls and pediments. Scenes of gods and heroes, battles and blessings, myths told over generations, rendered in careful relief. Each figure is posed with dignity and calm, gestures frozen in time, yet conveying a story that continues with every visitor who gazes upon it. Imagine tracing the contours of a figure with your eyes, following the lines that depict strength, patience, or serenity. These carvings are more than decoration. They are a visual lullaby of history and faith, guiding thoughts slowly, gently, into contemplation. Now picture the ziggurats, though less common in Athens, towering in nearby regions, rising in layered terraces toward the sky. They are massive, grounded in earth and stone, yet their form draws the eye upward, encouraging reflection, wonder, and gentle awe. The steps or ramps leading up invite slow, measured ascent, each step, a mindful progression, a rhythm of body and spirit. Imagine climbing slowly, feeling the texture of stone beneath your hands, the warmth of the sun gradually brightening your surroundings. The ziggurat is not only a physical structure, but a symbolic bridge, connecting human labor with aspiration, earth with sky, body with spirit. Consider the rituals that occur at dawn and dusk. Offerings of food, drink, and incense are made with precision, gestures repeated over generations. The sounds are soft and patterned, a small bell ringing. Water poured into bronze bowls, the gentle rustle of robes, whispers of prayers and chants. Imagine being present in these moments, the calm rhythm guiding your attention inward, a meditation of sight, sound, and scent. The ordinary flow of life continues outside the sacred space, yet within, there is pause, reflection, and continuity. Think also of the people who maintain these sacred spaces. Craftsmen repair broken tiles, sculptors carve new reliefs, laborers bring water for cleansing rituals. Their work is slow, careful, deliberate. Even a small task like polishing an altar or arranging fresh flowers carries significance and is performed with gentle care. Imagine observing them, noting how each hand movement blends seamlessly with the environment. Contributing to the temple's enduring presence, architecture itself guides movement, attention, and thought. Long rows of columns create shaded walkways, quiet corridors that funnel the eye toward the altar or sacred image. Light filters through openings in subtle patterns, creating shifting mosaics of brightness and shadow on the stone floors. You might imagine sitting on a low step, feeling the coolness of marble, listening to the whisper of wind through columns, noticing the soft fragrance of incense or morning air, letting your thoughts drift slowly, gently. Picture families visiting the temples, children watching their elders with quiet curiosity. Some pause to offer a small prayer, others place a token of thanks or seek guidance. Their voices are soft, measured, respectful. You can imagine the calm continuity of these interactions repeated countless times over generations, connecting present, past, and future. There is no rush here, no urgency, only the steady, gentle rhythm of devotion and presence. Consider the festivals and processions that occasionally bring more movement to these sacred spaces. Even then, the pace is deliberate. Participants walk slowly, carrying offerings, chanting hymns, or performing dances with measured gestures. Imagine the soft echo of feet on stone, the quiet rustle of garments, the faint harmony of multiple voices blending without sharpness. The crowd, though larger, remains part of the gentle cadence, a temporary swell in the ongoing flow of temple life. Think also of the interplay between the temples and the city around them. Citizens move past on their way to work, children run errands, and merchants open their shops. Yet a subtle boundary preserves the sacred atmosphere. Even those passing by may lower their voices, bow slightly, or pause briefly, acknowledging the quiet power of these spaces. Imagine walking along the street adjacent to a temple, feeling both the pulse of the city and the gentle calm emanating from the sacred site, a balance of ordinary life and devotion. Picture a quiet afternoon where the sun begins to warm the marble, turning its pale surfaces soft and inviting. The shadows lengthen, and the air carries a gentle stillness. Perhaps a priest or devotee pauses under a colonnade, their attention drawn to a bird resting lightly on a sculpted ledge. The scene is simple, ordinary, yet imbued with a sense of continuity, a reminder that every small detail is part of the enduring presence of the sacred. Now allow yourself to consider the soundscape of these spaces, the gentle splash of water in basins, the faint murmur of prayers, the whisper of robes, the soft wind brushing columns and trees. There are no sudden noises, no harsh interruptions. Each sound is part of a flowing rhythm, guiding attention inward, slowing thought, creating a calm and steady awareness of the present. You can almost hear the heartbeat of the city slowing as it approaches the temples, a gentle lull in the midst of daily life. As dusk approaches, the temples take on a different hue. The golden light fades to soft pinks and purples, shadows lengthen across the stone floors, and the air cools. Candles and small fires illuminate altars, casting flickering patterns on reliefs and walls. You may notice the soft murmurs of evening prayers, the careful arrangement of offerings for night, the gentle sweeping of floors. Even as night descends, the rhythm remains calm, steady, a lullaby of devotion and continuity. Finally, imagine standing at a temple threshold, looking outward toward the city and plains beyond. The structures are silent now, yet full of presence. The efforts of craftsmen, priests, and citizens over countless generations remain visible in marble, stone, and bronze. The air carries faint scents, sounds, and sensations, all combining to create a gentle, immersive experience. You may take a slow breath, letting your senses absorb the textures, colors, and rhythms. Then temples and ziggurats of Athens and surrounding regions are not only monuments of stone, they are living witnesses to human care, devotion, and the quiet, steady unfolding of life. Here, in this calm, reflective space, the divine is not thunderous or dramatic. It is soft, consistent, and present in every careful gesture, every measured step, every silent prayer. You feel a gentle connection to those who came before, those who maintain the spaces now, and those who will follow. Every stone, every column, every simple offering, is part of an unbroken, soothing rhythm that invites stillness and reflection. Part 4. Kingship, Power, and Politics. Behind the throne, imagine walking through the quieter corridors of Athens, where the hum of daily life slows and the presence of authority is subtle yet tangible. Picture a palace or administrative hall bathed in soft morning light, the marble cool underfoot, the air carrying a faint scent of oil lamps and polished wood. In these spaces, power is not always loud or dramatic. It flows in measured steps, gentle commands and quiet decisions that guide the city without fanfare. Imagine yourself observing this world from a calm distance, noticing its rhythms, its rituals, and the delicate balance of influence that sustains life in the city. The kings, magistrates, or strategoi of Athens move with quiet dignity. They do not need to shout to assert authority. Their presence is enough. Picture a ruler seated in a simple yet dignified chamber, sunlight streaming through columns and casting long, soft shadows. A scroll rests gently in his hands, the weight of words carrying centuries of custom, law, and expectation. He studies it slowly, deliberately, considering each line and its implications. Imagine leaning against a nearby pillar, watching without interruption, feeling the calm rhythm of thought and careful reflection around him. Advisors and scribes work with soft diligence. The scratching of reed pens on papyrus is barely audible, yet it forms part of the steady rhythm of governance. You may notice a scribe pausing to clean ink from his fingers, a gentle gesture repeated countless times in the same quiet way. Advisors murmur their counsel in low voices, their tones respectful, thoughtful, deliberate. Every word, every gesture, is measured, part of an unhurried dance that keeps the machinery of rule moving smoothly and consistently. Imagine the way decisions are made, not in chaos or shouting, but in careful deliberation. Citizens petition the ruler softly, waiting their turn in an orderly fashion. Minor disputes are brought forward, resolved with calm discussion. The ruler listens attentively, nodding slowly, occasionally asking a question in a measured tone. You might notice the subtle exchange of expressions between advisors, a glance that conveys understanding, agreement, or gentle concern. Every interaction carries weight, yet none is rushed. There is a meditative quality to this process, a sense that patience and reflection are as powerful as the throne itself. Consider the walls and rooms of these administrative spaces. Marble floors gleam softly under the sun's touch. Columns rise with understated elegance, their carved details precise but not ostentatious. Tapestries or simple cloth hangings may soften the acoustics, allowing conversation to remain intimate, private, and undisturbed. You may feel the calmness settle over you as you imagine standing in one of these chambers, absorbing the atmosphere of measured authority and quiet diligence. Outside the palace, courtyards and gardens offer gentle breaks from the intensity of rule. Imagine rulers walking slowly along shaded paths, observing plants, listening to birdsong, or exchanging soft words with attendants. Even these moments, though serene, are part of the balance of governance. Quiet reflection on nature, life, and the responsibilities of leadership. The rhythm of these spaces encourages patience, contemplation, and steady attention to detail. Think of the council meetings that occur throughout the day. Citizens, elders, and officials gather in shaded chambers or open colonnades, sitting in careful rows, speaking only when acknowledged. Voices are calm, deliberate, measured. Arguments are weighed slowly, decisions considered over time rather than in haste. You can imagine the soft rustle of robes as participants shift in their seats, the occasional scrape of a sandal on stone, the gentle sigh of a breeze through open windows. These subtle sounds are part of the living rhythm of governance, a continuous flow of thought and deliberation. Consider also the preparation and presentation of public decrees. The scribe copies the text carefully onto papyrus, ensuring that every letter is legible, every line precise. Messengers receive instructions quietly, nodding to confirm understanding before departing on their tasks. The city beyond awaits, yet the pace remains calm and intentional. a slow, deliberate unfolding of communication that keeps the polis connected and orderly. Imagine following a messenger through the streets, noting the soft tapping of feet on stone, the faint jingling of coins in a pouch, the measured cadence of each step echoing the calm administration of rule. Think also of the personal life of rulers and officials, which blend seamlessly with their duties. They may share simple meals in private, eat bread, olives, and cheese, sipping water or diluted wine. Conversation is gentle, reflective, often about strategy, family, or the natural world. You may picture a ruler pausing to look out over the city from a balcony, the afternoon sun warming his shoulders, a soft breeze stirring his hair. These moments, unhurried and quiet, reveal that power is not only about commands or laws, but about maintaining balance, observing the world, and moving thoughtfully through each day. Imagine the training and guidance of younger citizens or heirs within these spaces. Lessons are given calmly, demonstrations performed slowly and carefully. A young pupil may learn to write, to read a decree, or to understand the measured tone of leadership. The teacher's voice is soft but deliberate, emphasizing patience and observation. Every small action contributes to the continuity of leadership, instilling respect, awareness, and quiet authority. You might notice a pause in the lesson to observe a bird, or the play of sunlight across the room. The moment itself, valued as part of the learning experience. Now picture the minor celebrations or ceremonial rituals that punctuate governance. Offerings may be made, blessings sought, or small feasts shared. These occasions are quiet, measured, a gentle acknowledgement of the forces divine or social that support leadership. Imagine attending such a ritual, sensing the calm precision in each gesture, the careful alignment of actions, the soft sound of voices, the faint fragrance of incense, and the gentle warmth of sunlight. Everything unfolds slowly, reinforcing patience, reflection, and the quiet weight of authority. Outside, the city continues its own rhythm. Citizens moving through streets, vendors opening stalls, children playing in open courtyards. You may notice how the ruler's influence is felt subtly. Taxes and laws are implemented without upheaval, order maintained without visible struggle. There is a gentle harmony, a balance between authority and everyday life. Imagine walking along these streets feeling the steady pulse of the city, sensing how calm governance guides and shapes the rhythm of daily life without drawing attention to itself. Consider the quiet moments of reflection that rulers and advisors take alone. Perhaps a ruler sits in a shaded courtyard, tracing patterns in the dust with a stick, observing the clouds, or listening to birdsong. A gentle breeze brushes through columns and courtyards, carrying with it the scent of olive trees and freshly tilled fields. You may feel a sense of calm presence, a connection between human effort, thought, and the continuity of life. Even in power, stillness and observation are essential. As evening approaches, soft light fills the halls, casting gentle shadows on walls and floors. The day's work slows, decisions already made, letters and decrees prepared for delivery. Servants and scribes move quietly, completing tasks with care and attention. The atmosphere is calm, steady, a reflection of measured effort and continuous presence. Imagine walking through these corridors, noting the subtle sounds, the gentle clink of a writing implement, the faint shuffle of sandals on marble, the quiet rustle of robes, the soft murmur of voices, contributes to the slow, deliberate rhythm of governance. Finally, imagine the ruler observing the city at sunset. From a balcony or terrace, the golden light illuminates streets, rooftops, and distant hills. The day has passed in careful, measured steps. Decisions have been made, laws maintained, and the city continues its quiet rhythm, guided gently by the invisible hand of authority. You may take a slow breath, letting the calm settle within you, appreciating the delicate balance between power and patience, leadership and observation. Kingship and politics in Athens are not always dramatic. As often they are quiet, steady, and deliberate. a lullaby of governance that flows gently through the city, shaping life without harshness or hurry. Here, in this calm, reflective space, you sense that power is most enduring when exercised with patience and thoughtfulness. Every decision, every gesture, every soft word is part of a continuum, a quiet current that supports the city, its citizens, in the unfolding of daily life. The corridors of kingship are not loud or imposing. They're spaces of steady care, reflection, and presence, offering a gentle rhythm for all who move through them. Part 5. Markets and Daily Trade. Coins and Conversations. Imagine waking to the gentle hum of the city as sunlight warms the streets and rooftops of Athens. You stroll toward the Agora, the central marketplace, where the day begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. The air carries the faint sense of fresh bread, ripe figs, and olive oil, blending with the soft aroma of clay and stone. Picture yourself stepping into this space, a calm observer, feeling the gentle rhythm of movement and activity around you. The marketplace is alive, yet it is a slow, deliberate pulse of life, a gentle dance of trade, conversation, and community. Merchants begin setting up their stalls, arranging goods with careful attention. Clay jars of olive oil glint softly in the morning light. Neatly stacked grains shine pale gold or earthy brown. Baskets of fresh fruits and vegetables, still cool from the dawn harvest, release subtle, sweet aromas into the air. Each arrangement is methodical, deliberate, a quiet art of presentation. Imagine walking slowly past these stalls, noticing the textures, the colors. The gentle way vendors smooth their wares, aligning them into tidy rows. Every action is careful, mindful, part of the tranquil rhythm of the day. The coins exchanged in this marketplace carry more than value. They're symbols of connection, trust, and routine. Picture a merchant gently weighing grains on a bronze scale, the small sound of metal and the soft thud of coins echoing faintly, yet never harshly. The customer, perhaps a farmer or craftsman, handles each coin deliberately, turning it over in his hand, considering the exchange. Each transaction is brief but calm, a ritual of ordinary life repeated countless times, grounding the flow of Athens in quiet stability. Notice the people moving through the Agora. Citizens walk slowly, some carrying baskets or jars, others simply observing or greeting friends. Children weave gently between adults, carrying small bundles or playing softly near the edges of the stalls. You may hear muted laughter, the soft murmur of voices, the subtle clink of pottery or metal. Even the footsteps, though frequent, are measured, part of the continuous, gentle flow of human presence. Imagine feeling the rhythm of life around you, the pulse of a city sustained by the slow, deliberate actions of its people. Consider the variety of goods in the marketplace. Freshly baked bread, olives and cheese, small clay figurines, woven textiles, pottery, and tools, all carefully arranged and offered to buyers. Picture a vendor showing a finely woven cloth to a customer, her hands moving slowly over its texture, the sun highlighting the patterns in soft glimmers. Every exchange, every touch, is performed with attention and respect, a gentle dialogue between human effort and appreciation. Now think of the sounds that blend into the gentle symphony of the market. The soft clinking of coins, the muted scraping of hands arranging goods, the low hum of conversation, birds singing from nearby rooftops, and the faint rustle of olive leaves in the breeze. Nothing is abrupt. Every sound contributes to a calm, continuous atmosphere. Imagine closing your eyes for a moment and letting these noises flow around you like a gentle lullaby, grounding you in the steady rhythm of everyday life. Observe the social interactions that quietly unfold. Friends greet each other with nods or brief words. Families may pause to admire certain goods or discuss what to buy for the day. Children learn from these exchanges, watching attentively how parents negotiate or choose items. Even the smallest gestures, a smile, a nod, the careful handling of a coin carry meaning. reinforcing bonds and creating a subtle harmony that extends throughout the marketplace. Imagine feeling this connection as you move gently between stalls, sensing how each action, however ordinary, sustains the communal rhythm of Athens. Picture artisans working nearby, displaying wares crafted with care, pottery shaped with skillful hands, woven mats, tools polished and ready for use. You may see a craftsman demonstrating a technique slowly, deliberately, allowing the observer to take in each movement. Imagine standing quietly, noticing the intricate gestures, the calm precision, the patience embedded in every action. Each item carries a story, not just of material value, but of human dedication and care. Connecting maker, buyer, and city in a quiet continuum. The marketplace also serves as a hub for information. Gentle conversations flow from one stall to another. News of distant events, local decisions, or small personal stories. These exchanges are calm, measured, carried in soft voices. Imagine leaning slightly to hear a merchant recounting a tale of a distant olive grove, or a farmer sharing thoughts on the upcoming harvest. The dialogue is neither rushed nor intrusive. It is a gentle flow of knowledge, a quiet exchange sustaining the social fabric. Consider the role of public spaces within the Agora. Small fountains or shaded areas provide places to rest, pause, or meet. Picture citizens gathering there briefly, sipping water, adjusting their baskets, or exchanging words softly. Even the simple act of sitting or leaning on a stone edge becomes part of the meditative rhythm of the market. You might close your eyes and sense the balance of movement and pause. Each gesture carefully measured, each breath part of the ongoing lullaby of everyday life. Athens depends on these exchanges, yet the pace is always calm, deliberate, never chaotic. Supplies from farms and workshops flow naturally into the Agora, sustaining life without fanfare or urgency. You can picture a basket of olives being carried gently along the street, a small jar of honey resting softly against the vendor's chest, each movement deliberate, intentional, slow. Everything unfolds in measured steps, a choreography of commerce and connection. Picture the subtle rituals of trade. A customer may pause to inspect a loaf of bread, turning it gently, inhaling its warmth. A vendor may nod, explain softly, or offer a taste. Even the negotiation of price is quiet, deliberate, a dialogue of trust and patience. Imagine the small, almost imperceptible smiles exchanged, the careful handshakes, the brief words of thanks, all contributing to the understated harmony of daily commerce. Notice the children once more moving carefully between adults, observing and learning. A young girl might carry a small basket, practicing how to navigate without disturbing the flow. A boy might assist a parent, holding a coin or a small item for purchase. These moments are gentle lessons in observation, patience, and participation. You may imagine the soft laughter of children echoing lightly, blending seamlessly with the measured sounds of adults and animals alike, creating a calm, continuous rhythm. The presence of animals is quiet but steady. Dogs may wander lazily along the edges of stalls. Chickens peck softly at scattered grains, moving with gentle deliberation. Imagine the soft thud of hooves, the muted clucking, the occasional wag of a tail, all contributing to the subtle cadence of life that surrounds you. The marketplace is not only a place of exchange, but also a living ecosystem, each participant moving in harmony with others. Consider the role of preparation and storage. Baskets, jars, and sacks are handled with care, replenished slowly, carefully. Merchants sweep floors, arrange wares, polish tools, and adjust displays with calm, methodical movements. These repeated gestures create a sense of continuity, reinforcing the measured rhythm of the day. Imagine watching this unfold, noting the subtle details, the soft textures, the gentle interplay of light, shadow, and human presence. Finally, as the day advances, sunlight warms the Agora, bathing stalls, goods, and citizens in soft golden light. You may notice the gradual slowdown of activity in some areas, people moving toward homes, gardens, or other tasks, while others continue with measured attention. The marketplace, though vibrant, retains its calm core, a testament to the steady, deliberate heartbeat of everyday life in Athens. Imagine pausing in the center of the Agora, breathing deeply, feeling the quiet pulse of human connection, commerce, and continuity flowing gently around you. The marketplace is more than a place of buying and selling. It is a space of community, rhythm, and quiet continuity. Every sound, gesture, and exchange contributes to a gentle, immersive flow of life. Here in this slow, deliberate unfolding, you can sense the steady heartbeat of the city, a lullaby of coins, conversation, and the soft passage of ordinary days. Part 6. Writing, Scribes, and Knowledge. Ink on papyrus. Imagine stepping into a quiet room within Athens, where sunlight filters gently through small windows and illuminates smooth stone surfaces. The air carries a faint scent of papyrus, ink, and soft oils used to preserve scrolls. You feel the calm weight of history pressing softly around you, the gentle presence of knowledge unfolding through centuries. Picture yourself walking slowly among scribes at work, observing without disturbing, noticing the steady rhythm of hands, eyes, and thought as they engage with words, symbols, and the slow accumulation of understanding. Scribes sit on low benches or mats, read pens in hand, fingers stained slightly with ink, moving deliberately across papyrus scrolls. Each stroke is careful, intentional, a slow translation of thought into tangible form. Imagine the soft scratching of pens against papyrus, a gentle, almost musical rhythm that fills the room without urgency. Every line, every character is precise, a small act of meditation and discipline, connecting the present moment to generations past. You may feel the calmness of their focus seeping into your own awareness, slowing your thoughts and softening your attention. Consider the process of preparing materials. Papyrus is cut, layered, and smoothed with care. Ink is mixed from soot, water, and oils, producing a deep black that flows evenly across the surface. A scribe tests his pen on a small scrap, watching the lines form gently, making adjustments before beginning the main work. Imagine observing this, noticing the care, patience, and subtle attention required to transform simple materials into vessels of knowledge. Even the preparation of tools is deliberate, a slow ritual that reflects the importance of the task. Think of the subjects written down: letters, legal decrees, records of trade, philosophical reflections, myths, and practical instructions. Each word carries weight, yet is presented calmly, without haste. Imagine reading slowly, your eyes tracing the lines as they curve gracefully across the scroll, feeling the quiet accumulation of knowledge and thought. Every document, though small and humble, is a bridge between minds, between past and present, between those who record and those who read. Notice the interactions between scribes. Occasionally one may glance at another's work, offering a soft suggestion or quietly exchanging symbols. Their voices, if spoken, are low, measured, careful. Imagine leaning slightly to observe this gentle collaboration, sensing the calm precision with which knowledge is maintained and shared. Even mistakes are corrected with patience, a small mark erased or a new line begun, without rush or frustration. This attention to detail is part of the rhythm, a quiet respect for the craft and its enduring significance. Picture the movement of scrolls through the city. Some are delivered to government offices, others to private homes, temples, or schools. Imagine following a messenger walking slowly along sun-warmed streets, carrying a scroll tied carefully with a thin strip of leather. Each step is deliberate, each gesture gentle, preserving the integrity of the message and the weight of knowledge it contains. You may notice how even the simplest act of transport is infused with careful attention, a slow, meditative continuity linking people, places, and ideas. Consider the learners who approach the scribes. Young citizens sit quietly, read pens in hand, tracing letters under the watchful eye of a teacher. Their movements are slow, deliberate, practiced with patience and repetition. You can imagine the soft rustle of papyrus, the faint scratching of pens, the measured breaths of students concentrating on each stroke. Every small action is a step toward literacy, understanding, and the cultivation of a reflective, attentive mind. Notice also the quiet spaces in which knowledge is preserved. Shelves of scrolls, carefully stacked, soft shadows falling across the room. Small jars of ink, reeds, and brushes are arranged neatly on tables. Each item has a place. Each movement is part of a rhythm designed to maintain order and focus. Imagine walking slowly among these objects, feeling the calm weight of centuries of thought and the gentle care required to sustain it. Even the silence between scribes is part of the lesson. A quiet acknowledgement that thought itself is an active, deliberate process. Now picture the composition of larger works. A poet or philosopher writing carefully, pausing between sentences, thinking, letting ideas settle before committing them to ink. Imagine the slow unfolding of thought, the gentle shaping of argument or story, the mindful observation of form and meaning. The process is quiet, reflective, deliberate, a lullaby of intellectual engagement. You might notice the subtle shift in posture, the careful adjustment of pen and scroll. The slight nods as ideas crystallize, all part of the calm rhythm of creation. Think also of the role of memory in this environment. Scribes often recite passages softly to themselves before writing, feeling the cadence of words, allowing them to sink slowly into mind and hand. Imagine yourself listening to this gentle murmur, a soft wave of sound carrying ideas, stories, and practical knowledge. It is a rhythm that slows the mind and encourages attentive, reflective participation, connecting the act of writing to the deeper currents of thought and memory. Consider the repetition and practice involved in learning to write. Beginners trace simple marks over and over, moving slowly, observing the shapes, correcting errors, and refining gestures. Imagine yourself sitting quietly, feeling the subtle satisfaction of precision, the gentle flow of movement, the meditative quality of repeated attention. Even small successes in this process create a sense of calm continuity, a soft reinforcement of focus and patience. Now, think of the integration of writing into the broader life of Athens. Laws and decrees, financial records, and contracts are maintained with care, allowing the city to function smoothly and predictably. Letters are written and delivered slowly, messages carried from one part of the city to another, preserving social, economic, and political balance. Imagine observing the interplay of these documents, each one part of a quiet network sustaining the city. Each movement deliberate, careful, measured. Picture the daily routines of scribes themselves. They arrive early, preparing materials and reviewing past work. Hours pass with soft scratching, occasional pauses for thought, the gentle rustle of scrolls, the faint scent of ink and papyrus. Even their breaks are quiet. A sip of water, a slow stretch, a reflective glance out the window at olive trees swaying in the breeze. Their world is one of calm focus, an unhurried devotion to precision, patience, and the preservation of knowledge. Imagine the role of scribes in temples or schools. They record prayers, offerings, and teachings, ensuring continuity in memory. Their movements are methodical, gestures repeated in harmony with centuries of practice. Even a simple act, like copying a hymn or counting offerings, becomes a meditation, a measured rhythm that connects past, present, and future. You may visualize standing quietly in such a space, feeling the gentle presence of learning and devotion flowing around you. Now consider the night settling over Athens. Candles or small lamps illuminate the workspaces, casting warm, soft shadows over scrolls, tables, and hands. The scribes move slowly, their tasks deliberate, thoughts reflective. Even as darkness falls, the rhythm continues, the continuity of knowledge preserved in gentle, steady motion. Imagine breathing slowly, feeling the calm, deliberate energy of this quiet world. the soft glow of light reflecting on polished surfaces and ink-stained fingers. Finally, imagine walking away from the scribe's chambers, pausing briefly to observe the quiet city beyond. Streets are calmer now, sounds muted, life continuing at a gentler pace. The knowledge preserved by scribes' laws, letters, stories, and teachings flows through the city subtly, influencing thought, action, and memory. Every word written, every line traced, every gesture performed carefully is part of a soft, enduring rhythm that connects Athens across time. You may take a deep, slow breath, feeling the continuity of thought and human care settle within you. A gentle lullaby of knowledge carried through ink on papyrus. Part 7. Law, Justice, and Order. The gentle hand of the polis. Imagine walking slowly through the quiet streets of Athens, the sun rising gently and casting long, soft shadows across marble and stone. The city awakens, but in the neighborhoods near the courthouse and public assembly, there is a sense of measured calm. Here, the work of law, justice, and civic order unfolds not with urgency, but with careful attention, deliberate gestures, and thoughtful observation. Picture yourself moving quietly among citizens, judges, and scribes, noticing the rhythm of the polis as it seeks balance and harmony, and feeling a gentle reassurance in the continuity of civic life. Consider the structure of law in the city. Courts are simple, yet dignified, built of pale stone that reflects sunlight softly. Columns rise steadily, casting quiet shadows across the open spaces where citizens gather. Imagine entering a courtroom, the air filled with faint dust and the subtle scent of sun-warmed stone. The floor beneath your feet is solid and cool, grounding you as you observe the measured pace of proceedings. Every step, every word, and every gesture is deliberate. Reflecting the careful attention Athens devotes to maintaining order. Judges, magistrates, and jurors sit with calm authority. Their movements are steady, their voices soft but clear, conveying decisions with patience and thought. Imagine a magistrate raising his hand slowly to quiet the assembly, allowing the echoes of law to settle gently into the air. The rhythm of speech, the measured articulation of rulings, and the quiet listening of participants create a slow, deliberate flow that emphasizes reflection over haste, thoughtfulness over drama. Consider the citizens who come to present their cases or seek guidance. Some approach with petitions, others with small disputes about property, trade, or obligations. Each person moves slowly, pausing to speak respectfully, listening intently to responses. Imagine leaning slightly to observe these interactions, noticing the calm gestures, the gentle nods, the soft tones used to convey argument and understanding. Even disagreement here is measured, part of a deliberate process aimed at fairness and continuity rather than spectacle. Now picture the scribes recording proceedings. Their reed pens scratch gently across papyrus, capturing the words, decisions, and agreements with patient precision. Imagine the soft rhythm of pen on scroll, the faint scent of ink, and the careful way letters form across the surface. These records become the silent memory of the polis, ensuring that justice, decisions, and civic life maintain continuity across days, months, and generations. You may feel a gentle calm in observing this diligence, a reminder that the quiet preservation of law sustains life in subtle yet profound ways. Think also of the physical symbols of justice. Small altars or statues carefully placed in the court or assembly areas. They are simple, dignified, reminders of divine oversight and moral order. You might imagine a gentle breeze rustling through columns and trees near the courthouse, carrying the faint scent of olive branches and wild herbs. These sensory details remind citizens of the intertwining of human law, divine guidance and natural order, reinforcing a sense of calm and measured care. Consider the pacing of trials. They unfold deliberately, each statement heard, each testimony recorded, each question asked with patience. No one is rushed and interruptions are minimal. Imagine sitting quietly, observing a case unfold slowly, noticing the calm cadence of speech, the subtle gestures of listening, the steady attention to fairness. Even moments of tension are softened by the deliberate pace, creating a reflective and meditative atmosphere rather than one of agitation or haste. Picture the exchange of arguments between citizens. Softly spoken words are weighed carefully, responses offered in gentle tones, and resolutions suggested with care. Imagine following a dispute over land or trade, observing how each party explains their position, nods in understanding, or accepts clarification. The atmosphere remains calm, emphasizing careful thought and reflection, allowing both the spoken word and the written record to coexist in harmony. Now, imagine the role of jurors, who listen attentively, consider testimony carefully, and deliberate in quiet groups. Their responsibility is great, yet their approach is measured and thoughtful. Picture a small courtyard where jurors convene to discuss a case. Voices low and measured, gestures minimal, thoughts focused. Every word is considered slowly, every decision reached with care, reinforcing the polis commitment to balanced, fair governance. Consider also the administrative aspects of law. Decrees, contracts, and records are preserved with care, ensuring that every citizen, whether wealthy or modest, has access to consistent and predictable rules. Imagine a scribe carefully copying a decree into a scroll, ink flowing smoothly, fingers steady. Each mark preserves fairness, continuity, and civic order, maintaining the subtle architecture of social life in Athens. Picture how citizens integrate law into daily life. Even small interactions, buying bread, negotiating trade, or lending an olive press are informed by the steady, reassuring presence of rules and expectations. People speak politely, listen carefully, and act with measured respect. Imagine walking among them, feeling the gentle rhythm of civic awareness, noticing the calm order that allows life to unfold predictably and without chaos. Now, think of the seasonal rhythms that influence justice. Some disputes are connected to harvests, festivals, or market cycles. Citizens adjust their routines accordingly, observing deadlines and customary practices with care. Imagine the soft preparations for a festival or the gentle organization of agricultural trade, and notice how law and tradition flow together in a harmonious, measured pattern that shapes both behavior and expectation. Notice the small rituals that accompany justice. Offerings or prayers may be made before or after proceedings, incense burned to honor fairness or divine guidance. Imagine the faint glow of sunlight on stone altars, the soft scent of burning herbs, and the gentle murmuring of prayers. These rituals create a sense of calm presence, reminding all participants of the continuity between human actions, moral order, and the enduring structure of civic life. Picture how lessons in justice extend to younger citizens. Children may observe minor proceedings or hear simplified stories of law and consequence. Imagine them sitting quietly, eyes attentive, absorbing the rhythm of respectful listening, understanding, and measured response. Even these gentle lessons contribute to the long-term stability of the polis, embedding patience, reflection, and awareness into daily life from an early age. Consider the quiet enforcement of decisions. Messengers carry decrees to citizens. Penalties are applied with consistency, and agreements are honored with calm precision. Each step in this process reinforces predictability and trust, supporting the gentle current of civic harmony. Imagine following a messenger along sun-warmed streets, observing the slow, deliberate rhythm of movement, the soft patter of sandals on stone, and the subtle reassurance carried in every exchange. Think also of the balance between flexibility and consistency in Athens. Laws are followed carefully, yet exceptions or explanations are offered thoughtfully, allowing citizens to adapt without chaos. Imagine a magistrate listening patiently to a plea for leniency, weighing circumstances slowly and responding with gentle clarity. Every interaction reflects a dedication to fairness, understanding, and the measured guidance of communal life. Now picture evening settling over the city. The sun casts a warm amber glow across streets, courtyards and courthouses. Citizens return to homes, merchants close their stalls, and scribes finish recording the day's events. The city feels calm, ordered, and complete. Imagine walking slowly through emptying streets, breathing in the cool air, hearing only distant footsteps and soft bird calls, feeling the quiet heartbeat of justice and order sustaining the city, even as daily activity slows. Finally, imagine pausing on a gentle hill overlooking Athens. The city stretches below you, quiet and steady, sunlight fading into soft shades of rose and purple. You may reflect on the invisible threads of law, the measured hand of magistrates, the careful work of scribes, and the patient deliberation of jurors. Justice in Athens is not always loud or dramatic. It is deliberate, thoughtful, and calm, a gentle hand guiding the rhythm of the polis and shaping life with quiet, enduring care. Here, in this reflective space, you feel the subtle power of civic order, the meditative rhythm of law, and the reassurance that even in the smallest details, words, gestures, and records there is continuity, patience, and stability. Athens thrives, not through haste or force alone, but through the measured, gentle current of justice flowing steadily through its streets, hearts, and minds. Part 8. Families, Love, and Daily Bonds, Hearth and Heart. Imagine walking slowly through a quiet neighborhood in Athens, where sunlight touches the soft, warm surfaces of stone houses, illuminating small courtyards and shaded doorways. The streets are calm, filled only with the gentle movement of citizens beginning their day. Picture yourself pausing before a modest home, observing life unfolding in its ordinary, patient rhythm. Here, in the space of hearth and home, the threads of family, love, and daily bonds are woven quietly, steadily, with care. Step closer and notice the families within. Parents move through rooms with calm purpose, attending to children, preparing meals, and managing household chores. You might hear the soft clatter of pots, the gentle rustle of cloth, the faint scrape of a broom against stone. Each sound is small, ordinary, yet part of the harmonious rhythm that structures daily life. Imagine leaning against a column in the courtyard, watching these motions unfold without disturbance, feeling the gentle flow of attention, care, and presence. Consider the relationships between parents and children. A mother or father may guide a child through morning tasks, speaking in soft, measured tones, offering encouragement or gentle correction. Imagine a young child learning to grind grain or sweep the floor, mimicking motions with careful focus, repeating actions slowly until they feel natural. The process is patient, meditative, filled with small, deliberate gestures that teach responsibility, attentiveness, and the quiet rhythms of household life. Picture meals being prepared. Bread is kneaded slowly, olives are gathered and washed, and soft slices of cheese are laid on plates. Imagine the warmth of the hearth, the faint scent of cooking oils and herbs, the gentle flicker of firelight casting soft shadows across walls and faces. Families gather, speaking in muted tones, sharing observations, stories, and subtle laughter. There is no rush every movement. Every word is part of a careful dance of domestic life. Notice also the routines of children. They move through courtyards and small rooms, carrying small tasks, playing quietly with simple toys, or practicing skills under watchful eyes. Imagine a boy tracing letters in dust on a stone floor, or a girl practicing weaving on a small loom. Every action is slow, deliberate, a part of learning, a part of connection to family, community, and daily life. Even play is purposeful, teaching observation, patience, and gentle coordination. Think of the tender gestures between family members, parents smoothing a child's hair, a sibling offering a gentle smile, an elder handing a small gift of food or cloth. These moments are quiet, understated, yet carry profound meaning. Imagine observing these gestures, feeling the warmth, care, and mutual respect flowing between individuals, grounding life in quiet love and steady attention. Consider the rhythm of domestic work. Laundry is washed slowly by hand, clothes laid to dry in sunlight. Floors are swept carefully, dishes washed and set aside, storage jars replenished with olives, grains, and water. Imagine walking through these spaces, noticing how each action is measured, each movement deliberate. Even the simplest tasks carry weight, providing comfort, sustenance, and continuity to daily life. Picture shared quiet moments. Perhaps a family sits together in a shaded courtyard, observing the sun's movement across walls, listening to birdsong, or discussing events of the day. Words are soft, thoughtful, each sentence deliberate, each gesture measured. You may feel the calm resonance of these interactions, a gentle lull of presence, connection, and reflection. Time here is not hurried. It flows with patience and care. Imagine evening approaching. Candles or oil lamps are lit, casting a warm glow across rooms. The family gathers around small tables, finishing meals, sharing stories, or listening to elders recount myths and tales. Imagine the low, soft tones of speech, the gentle crackle of the fire, the muted aroma of incense or herbs. Every sensory detail contributes to a calm, soothing environment, a rhythm of life that nurtures mind, body, and heart alike. Notice the spaces for learning within the household. Children may be taught to read or write, to manage small household tasks, or to observe the natural world attentively. Imagine a parent demonstrating how to measure grain, how to carry water without spilling, or how to identify medicinal herbs. Each lesson is delivered patiently, slowly, without rush, emphasizing understanding, observation, and connection to life. Consider the bonds between siblings. They share tasks, play quietly, and support one another with gentle guidance. Imagine a young sister helping a brother arrange small tools, or a brother carrying water for a younger sibling. Even these small, seemingly ordinary interactions carry meaning, reinforcing mutual care, patience, and respect. Every gesture, no matter how minor, contributes to a calm rhythm of household life. Think of the influence of extended family. Grandparents or elders may live within or near the home, offering wisdom, recounting traditions, or simply observing with quiet attention. Imagine the soft voice of an elder explaining the proper care of olive trees, or recounting a gentle tale of past harvests. Their presence brings stability, continuity, and reassurance. Threading calm through daily life, connecting generations in shared understanding and care. Picture the integration of domestic life with community rituals. Families may prepare small offerings for local temples, participate in seasonal festivals, or observe customary celebrations at home. Imagine a child carrying a small basket of flowers to a shrine, moving slowly, deliberately, aware of the sacred rhythm of action and attention. Every gesture, even the smallest, connects private life with the broader patterns of the city, reinforcing gentle order and continuity. Notice the quiet expressions of love within families. A hand placed on a shoulder, a shared glance, a gentle word of encouragement, all simple acts performed without urgency, yet imbued with profound meaning. Imagine observing these moments slowly, sensing how they weave together the threads of intimacy, care, and emotional stability. Even in ordinary routines, these acts form the quiet foundation of connection and resilience. Consider the patterns of daily work alongside leisure. A parent may tend a small garden, a child may practice weaving or drawing, a sibling may read aloud from a scroll. The pace is unhurried, each action deliberate, contributing to the calm continuity of life. Imagine walking quietly through the courtyard, observing how work and rest are balanced, how attention to detail creates stability and harmony. Picture the evening rituals before sleep. Families gather quietly, completing chores, preparing water, arranging bedding, or sharing soft conversation. The house is bathed in gentle lamplight, shadows lengthening softly across walls. Imagine sitting in a quiet corner, hearing the faint shuffle of feet, the whisper of conversation, the calm murmur of the city settling beyond the door. Each sound is part of a lullaby, a rhythm of domestic life designed to soothe, teach, and sustain. Think of the continuity of care across generations. Lessons, stories, skills, and traditions pass slowly, deliberately, from elders to youth. Imagine a grandmother showing a child how to fold linen carefully, or a father explaining the measurement of grain for baking bread. Every gesture is precise, thoughtful, and patient. Knowledge flows gently through daily life, linking past, present, and future in quiet, deliberate continuity. Finally, imagine pausing outside as the city grows quieter. The sun sets in soft hues, shadows stretching along streets and courtyards. Families settle for the night, children breathing softly in their beds, parents and elders resting after a day of attentive care. Imagine standing in this calm, observing the gentle interplay of love, responsibility, and connection that sustains life in Athens. Here, in these quiet homes, the threads of family, love, and daily bonds form a soft, enduring rhythm. A lullaby of hearth and heart that flows gently through every ordinary day. Part 9. Slaves, Servants, and Laborers. Quiet Hands of Athens. Imagine walking slowly through a quieter, less frequented section of Athens, where the hum of daily life continues, but with a softer, more understated rhythm. Here, away from the bright sunlight of marketplaces and open courtyards, the labor of countless hands sustains the city in ways both essential and often unnoticed. Picture yourself moving gently along narrow lanes, feeling the gentle pulse of work, observing lives lived with quiet diligence and steady purpose. The hands that grind grain, carry water, tend fires, or shape stone contribute to the rhythm of Athens. And yet they do so with calm persistence, almost meditative in their constancy. Consider the early morning as the city slowly awakens. Slaves and servants rise before the sun, moving quietly through the still streets, preparing hearths, fetching water from wells, or tending to animals. Imagine observing a young servant carrying a clay jar of water, feeling the subtle weight shift with each step, the smooth surface cool in the hand. Each motion is careful, deliberate, part of a gentle rhythm learned through routine and necessity. Even the simplest tasks, sweeping floors, lighting fires, arranging bedding, are performed with calm focus. A soft dedication to sustaining life in the city. Notice the hands that prepare food for families or workers. Bread dough is kneaded slowly, grains are sifted with care. Olive oil is measured and poured gently into bowls. Imagine the scent of warm bread mingling with the earthy aroma of olive oil. And herbs, the quiet scraping of wooden utensils against clay, and the soft patter of bare feet moving between hearth and table. Even these ordinary actions are performed with patient attention, a subtle choreography that supports daily life and preserves the gentle flow of routine. Consider the movement of laborers in workshops. Stone is carved carefully, tools sharpened slowly, wooden beams shaped with quiet precision. Imagine a craftsman filing a piece of wood, the soft rhythm of metal against surface steady and unhurried. Every cut, every stroke is deliberate, a slow dance of effort and concentration. Even sweat glistening in the morning light reflects patient work, a quiet testimony to endurance and diligence rather than haste or display. Now picture the interactions between slaves, servants, and citizens. Instructions are given in calm, measured tones. Responses are delivered with attention and care. Imagine a servant carrying a tray to a family, moving deliberately to avoid spilling contents, exchanging soft greetings or nods. Every movement conveys respect, mindfulness, and continuity, the invisible ties that sustain domestic and public life. Even small gestures, a bow of the head, a gentle adjustment of a garment, a careful placement of a tool carry significance, quietly shaping the rhythm of existence. Observe the children of servants and laborers. They mimic the motions of adults, learning the subtle arts of carrying, cleaning, or preparing food. Imagine a young child balancing a small bucket of water, concentrating intently, eyes steady and hand careful. Each repetition is a lesson in patience, coordination, and responsibility. Their small successes contribute to a sense of calm confidence, reinforcing the gentle order of domestic and civic life. Picture the quiet work of tending animals. Donkeys are led slowly through streets, chickens guided gently to pens, and goats milked with soft, practiced hands. Imagine the steady, unhurried movement of animals responding to careful guidance. The subtle sounds of cloven hooves on stone, the faint bleating or clucking filling the air. Labor here is calm, methodical, a continuous interplay of human skill and attentive care. Every action contributes to the sustenance of the city and the rhythm of daily life, linking effort to nourishment and survival. Now, consider the maintenance of homes and public spaces. Floors are swept carefully, walls washed or polished, furniture arranged with attention. Imagine a servant moving slowly through a courtyard, adjusting cushions, arranging clay jars, ensuring order and readiness for the day ahead. Each movement is deliberate, blending seamlessly with the larger rhythm of city life. A quiet reminder that stability is built through countless small, thoughtful actions. Notice the passage of the day as shadows lengthen. Slaves and laborers continue their tasks, pacing themselves with gentle attention. Some repair tools or weave simple mats. Others tend to cooking fires or prepare food for evening meals. Imagine the soft sounds accompanying this labor. The gentle scrape of a tool, the rhythmic tapping of a hammer, the muted murmur of conversation or instruction. These sounds form a quiet symphony, a lullaby of effort and patience that sustains life throughout the city. Consider the cycles of work that connect the private and public spheres. Laborers carry goods from workshops to markets. Servants deliver messages or items to households, and scribes or record keepers document these movements. Imagine following a basket of olives being carried carefully along stone streets, feeling the smooth weight shift with each step, noticing the soft clink of ceramic jars. Every motion is intentional, a small contribution to the unbroken flow of daily life. Think of the seasonal aspects of labor. During harvest, grain is moved slowly from fields to storage. Olives are gathered with deliberate care. Wine is pressed and stored with measured attention. Imagine the quiet camaraderie among laborers working side by side, moving in steady rhythm. Pauses taken to catch breath or adjust loads, gestures shared silently through habit and observation. Even in collective effort, the tempo remains calm, controlled, and deliberate. Notice the lessons pass quietly from adult to child, mentor to apprentice. Skills are demonstrated slowly, repeated patiently, reinforced through observation and gentle guidance. Imagine a master showing a young worker how to shape clay or carve wood, hand guiding hand, voice soft and measured. Every detail is emphasized with care, ensuring continuity of craft, knowledge, and methodical precision, while embedding patience and focus into the learner's daily habits. Consider the evenings, when work transitions slowly from labor to rest. Fires are banked gently, tools cleaned and stored, animals secured, and households settle into calm routines. Imagine observing the soft glow of lamps in courtyards, flickering shadows dancing on walls, the muted footsteps of servants moving carefully among rooms. Even as activity slows, a quiet continuity remains. A gentle awareness that each day as labor supports life in the city and prepares the way for the next. Picture quiet reflections among laborers themselves. Sitting briefly in a sun-warmed courtyard, hands rested, breath slow, they watch the city continue around them. Perhaps they share soft words, recount small details of the day, or simply pause in observation. These moments of calm attention are as important as the work itself, reinforcing patience, awareness, and steady presence in the rhythm of daily life. Imagine how all this labor, so ordinary and often unseen, sustains the city. Every step, gesture, and motion of servants, slaves, and workers ensures that markets run smoothly, homes remain functional, and public spaces are maintained. Imagine tracing this web of effort through Athens, from quiet kitchens to bustling workshops, from small streets to open courtyards, feeling the subtle pulse that connects effort, continuity, and the life of the city. Consider the dignity in ordinary work. Hands that grind grain, sweep floors, or carry water are performing essential stabilizing acts. Every motion, however small, contributes to the rhythm of life, echoing through households, workshops, and marketplaces. Imagine observing these acts slowly, sensing the patient focus, quiet pride, and persistent dedication embodied in each gesture. Here in the calm continuity of labor, life is sustained, relationships nurtured. Athens thrives quietly through ordinary diligence. Finally, picture the city as evening falls. Shadows stretch along streets and courtyards, and the tempo of daily labor slows. Servants extinguish fires, laborers secure tools, and animals are settled for the night. Imagine standing quietly in a courtyard, feeling the gentle weight of effort, the calm assurance of continuity, and the quiet rhythm of countless hands that sustain life. Even as activity diminishes, the city hums softly with presence, persistence, and quiet care, a meditation on the steady, unassuming power of work that keeps Athens alive day by day, hour by hour. Part 10. Religious Rituals and Festivals. Gentle echoes of the divine. Imagine stepping into the soft light of early morning in Athens, where the city is quietly preparing for another day. Yet a special hum lingers in the Iran undercurrent of devotion, ritual, and reverence. The streets are calm, but near temples and sacred spaces, you sense a gentle stirring. Picture yourself walking slowly along the pathways toward a temple, feeling the warmth of sun on stone, the cool breeze on your skin, and the faint aroma of incense and olive oil wafting through open courtyards. Here, in these quiet spaces, the rituals and festivals of Athens unfold with deliberate grace, shaping the rhythm of life through calm, meditative repetition. Notice the temples themselves, rising serenely above courtyards and plazas. Marble columns catch the morning light softly, casting long shadows that stretch across the smooth stone floors. Steps lead gently to altars and sacred spaces, where priests and attendants move slowly and intentionally. Imagine the subtle glint of gold or bronze on statues, the soft patina of age on sacred vessels, the warm tactile surfaces of stone carved by patient hands. Every detail is deliberate, each gesture measured, creating a sense of calm reverence that permeates the environment. Consider the priests and attendants as they prepare for rituals. Their robes are simple, yet carefully arranged. Every fold is intentional, every movement precise. Imagine them moving slowly, arranging offerings of fruit, flowers, or grains on the altars, each placement deliberate, respectful, and mindful. The soft rustle of fabric, the faint clink of vessels, and the gentle murmurs of invocations create a rhythm that invites calm attention. Even preparation is a meditation, each act connecting the mundane to the sacred in subtle, deliberate ways. 8. Picture worshippers arriving quietly, carrying small offerings, or simply observing. Some pause at the threshold, bowing gently, feeling the presence of the divine without haste or urgency. Imagine the slow, measured steps of a child entering a temple courtyard, hand clasped with a parent's eyes wide with calm curiosity. Each movement, each gesture, is deliberate, forming a rhythm that mirrors the measured pace of the rituals themselves. Consider the prayers spoken softly into the air. Words are repeated slowly, with careful attention to sound and meaning, almost like a gentle chant that harmonizes with the rhythm of the city. Imagine yourself leaning slightly, listening to the murmur of devotion, noticing how each soft syllable carries intention, reflection, and focus. Even in silence, worshippers maintain calm awareness, their presence itself a meditation, a gentle echo of thought reaching toward the divine. Now picture the offerings placed upon altars. Fruit is arranged meticulously, flowers laid gently in bowls, incense set alight to release a soft, fragrant smoke. Imagine the delicate curl of smoke rising, moving in slow, unpredictable patterns, carrying prayers and attention skyward. Every gesture is measured, respectful, and purposeful, quiet reminder that the simplest acts performed with care connect humans to the sacred in a subtle, sustaining rhythm. Think of the festivals, celebrated with both joy and calm order. Seasonal observances, harvest ceremonies, or commemorations of local deities unfold slowly, with measured movement, gentle music, and carefully choreographed processions. Imagine a procession of citizens moving down a sun-dappled street. Soft sandals on stone, slow, rhythmic steps, banners fluttering gently in the breeze. Even celebration here is tempered by attention and care, a deliberate honoring of tradition, a soft weaving of human life with divine presence. Notice the role of music and sound. Flutes and lyres are played with gentle fingers, soft notes floating across courtyards, creating an atmosphere of contemplative harmony. Imagine the delicate vibration of strings and breath, mingling with whispers of prayer, the rustle of robes, and the faint scent of flowers and oils. The rhythm is calm, unhurried, inviting reflection and gentle focus rather than stirring urgency or chaos. Consider the participation of citizens. Men, women, and children engage slowly and respectfully, performing simple gestures like bowing, offering a small token, or observing quietly. Imagine a family kneeling together, hands folded over a small tray of fruit, eyes closed in calm attention. Every act, though small, contributes to the collective rhythm, creating a soft pulse of devotion that sustains both the community and the individual. Now think of the preparations that happen behind the scenes. Attendants clean the altars, arrange vessels, light lamps, and place flowers, all performed deliberately and without rush. Imagine the quiet concentration on every small task, the gentle attention to detail, the steady, calm presence that ensures rituals are performed smoothly. Even seemingly ordinary actions, polishing a bronze cup, arranging petals, carry a sense of sacred purpose, creating continuity and balance within the spiritual life of the city. Picture the sensory details of a festival day. The warm sun on skin, soft dust rising from stone streets, faint aromas of roasted grains and sweet honey, gentle music carried on the breeze. Imagine observing these layers slowly, noticing how each element contributes to a calm, immersive experience that nurtures attention, reflection, and presence. The pace is steady, the gestures deliberate, and the focus remains on harmony, continuity, and connection to the divine. Consider the communal aspects of ritual. Citizens may share food, speak in soft tones, or participate in simple games that honor a deity. Imagine the gentle laughter of children playing near an altar, the quiet guidance of elders ensuring order and respect. Even joyful movement is measured, emphasizing deliberate engagement rather than uncontrolled excitement. The collective calm reinforces social bonds, teaching both reflection and patience, while honoring tradition. Notice the quiet transition from day to evening. Candles and oil lamps are lit, casting warm, flickering light across stone floors and columns. Soft shadows lengthen across courtyards, blending with the fading sunlight. Imagine standing in this gentle glow, observing the continuation of ritual acts. A final prayer spoken softly, a small offering adjusted carefully, a last note played on a lyre. The city slows, but devotion continues, steady, deliberate, and unhurried. Think of the lessons carried from one generation to the next. Elders guide children slowly, showing how to place an offering, recite a chant, or participate in a procession. Imagine a child tracing symbols in the dust near an altar, learning through observation and gentle instruction. Every repetition, every careful action, becomes part of the continuity of practice, embedding patience, attention, and reverence into daily life. Picture the reflective moments between rituals. Worshippers pause in quiet courtyards, breathing slowly, observing sunlight, listening to distant music, and feeling the tactile textures of stone, wood, and cloth. Imagine the calm attention, the soft presence, the gentle awareness that even stillness contributes to spiritual life. Every moment, active or passive, is woven into the rhythm of ritual and devotion. Consider the integration of sacred and civic life. Temples, festivals, and rituals do not exist separately from daily activity. They influence markets, domestic routines, and community interactions. Imagine a merchant pausing to observe a procession, a child tracing the path of dancers in quiet fascination, a worker adjusting a tool in respect for sacred space. These moments form a subtle network of mindfulness, continuity, and calm attention that infuses the city with quiet structure. Finally, imagine the night settling over Athens. The temples glow softly under lamplight, processions have dispersed, and worshippers return to homes in gentle, measured steps. You may pause outside a temple, feeling the soft hum of presence, devotion, and continuity lingering in the air. The rhythm of rituals, the careful gestures of attendants, and the mindful participation of citizens form a gentle, enduring pattern, echoing softly through time. Even as activity diminishes, the sacred pulse remains, a calm thread connecting hearth, and city in quiet meditative harmony. Part 11. Trade, markets. It's an everyday economy. Gentle flow of goods. Imagine walking slowly through the streets of Athens as the sun rises. Casting soft, warm light over stone buildings and narrow lanes, the city hums quietly, but in the marketplace, a gentle rhythm begins to unfold. Picture yourself pausing at the edge of an open square, observing merchants, customers, and laborers moving with calm purpose. Every motion, every interaction is measured and deliberate, forming a quiet symphony of trade that sustains the city in its unhurried rhythm. Consider the early preparation of the market. Merchants arrange their goods with careful attention, clay pots stacked steadily. Baskets of olives aligned neatly, fresh loaves of bread displayed in soft, inviting piles. Imagine the subtle colors of fruits and vegetables catching sunlight, the smooth texture of pottery, the gentle rustle of cloth on tables. Each act of arrangement is deliberate, patient, and methodical, creating an atmosphere of calm order before the day's exchange begins. Picture the merchants themselves, moving slowly among their stalls, brushing dust from baskets, adjusting the alignment of jars, and greeting each passerby with quiet, measured words. Imagine their hands, worn by years of careful labor, tracing familiar patterns over surfaces, adjusting weights and measures with calm precision. Every gesture, small or large, carries meaning, contributing to the orderly rhythm that defines the marketplace and keeps commerce flowing steadily. Consider the customers who arrive in the square. Families, laborers, and travelers move gently among stalls, examining goods with soft attention. Imagine a mother lifting a basket of olives, turning it slowly in her hands, observing color, size, and quality. Her movements are unhurried, reflective, and deliberate, emphasizing discernment over haste. Even simple exchanges are performed with care, each participant aware of the shared rhythm that sustains both buyer and seller. Notice the sensory details of the marketplace. The scent of fresh bread mingles with olive oil and herbs. Soft sounds of flutes or lyres may drift from a nearby street performer. Sunlight glints off polished clay and metal vessels. Imagine walking slowly among these details, taking in every sound, texture, and aroma, feeling the subtle flow of life that connects merchants, customers, and goods in a gentle, harmonious cycle. Think of the movement of goods through the city. Donkeys carry baskets of grain along cobblestone streets. Servants transport jars of oil or wine to households. Laborers unload shipments at docks with steady, measured steps. Imagine following a small cart as it winds slowly through narrow alleys. The soft creak of wheels against stone, the gentle sway of cargo, the calm presence of those guiding it. Each step, each motion, contributes to the continuity and quiet reliability of Athens' economy. Consider the quiet exchanges of money and barter. Coins are counted slowly in the palm of a hand, weights measured carefully and agreements acknowledged with soft nods. Imagine a vendor weighing a small bag of dried figs, adjusting the scale until balance is perfect, then offering it to a customer with gentle courtesy. Even these small interactions are infused with mindfulness, patience, and the subtle recognition that trade is a shared rhythm of life, not a hurried transaction. Picture the children in the marketplace. Some follow their parents, observing, learning the flow of goods, the rhythm of attention and care required. Imagine a child holding a small basket, mimicking the careful gestures of their parent, observing how weights are measured, coins exchanged, and goods handled. Every repetition teaches patience, observation, and responsibility, embedding quiet understanding into the next generation of market participants. Notice the artisans and craftsmen whose work sustains the flow of goods. Potters turn clay slowly on wheels, blacksmiths hammer metal with rhythmic precision, weavers arrange threads methodically. Imagine watching a potter's hands shape soft clay, each motion deliberate, each rotation steady, forming vessels that will soon enter the marketplace. Every creation is both functional and beautiful, a testament to patience and careful attention to detail. Consider the interaction between market and city. Traders rely on the steady flow of goods from farms, ports, and workshops. Citizens rely on the market to nourish their households. Imagine standing at the edge of the square, observing how movement flows naturally. It's almost like a quiet river, connecting field, workshop, home, and square. Even the simplest acts of commerce are part of a calm, interconnected rhythm that sustains life in Athens. Picture the midday pause. Merchants rest, leaning against stalls or sitting on low benches, wiping hands or taking small sips of water. Customers pause in their browsing, exchanging quiet conversation, adjusting baskets, or observing the flow around them. Imagine the soft sounds of shifting footsteps, low voices, and gentle laughter mingling with the faint clink of coins and rustle of cloth. The market breathes slowly, a gentle ebb and flow of activity that creates continuity and stability in the heart of the city. Think of the seasonal rhythms that shape trade. Harvests bring abundance. Winter demands careful storage. Festivals require specific offerings and goods. Imagine observing the preparation for a festival, merchants arranging baskets of olives, grapes, or incense in anticipation of communal needs. Every action is deliberate, reinforcing continuity, respect, and harmony with both nature and civic life. Notice the subtle education that takes place in the marketplace. Young observers learn negotiation, the value of attention, and the importance of patience. Imagine a child noting the careful weighing of coins, measured adjustments of a scale, the soft, respectful dialogue between customer and vendor. These small lessons embed understanding, calm, attention, and appreciation for the rhythms of shared life. Consider the movement of goods from docks to markets. Ships arrive at the harbor, slowly lowering baskets of grain, wine, or olive oil. Laborers unload cargo carefully, ensuring nothing is damaged, each motion precise and deliberate. Imagine the gentle sway of a ship, the soft lapping of water, the faint smell of salt and timber mingling with the aroma of stored goods. Every gesture, from hand to shoulder to cart, maintains calm continuity, ensuring the city's needs are met steadily and reliably. Picture the integration of trade with domestic life. Households prepare lists of necessities, plan meals, and send children or servants to collect goods. Imagine a parent walking slowly with a basket, greeting merchants, observing quality, selecting items with calm attention. Every purchase, every careful choice reinforces the quiet rhythm that sustains households in the broader city simultaneously. Notice the softer moments of generosity and community. Vendors may offer small samples to neighbors, laborers share food in passing, children exchange small tokens. Imagine these acts unfolding slowly and thoughtfully, gestures imbued with calm awareness and social care. Even in the bustle of commerce, there is space for reflection, kindness, and connection, creating a gentle network of mutual support. Consider the rhythm of closing as the sun begins to descend. Merchants wrap unsold goods carefully, fold cloth, and set jars aside. Customers finish purchases, thank vendors softly, and depart toward their homes. Imagine the square emptying gradually, footsteps fading into alleys, soft dust rising and settling, and the gentle settling of day into evening. The marketplace, like a living organism, rests, ready to resume its calm flow tomorrow. Finally, picture yourself standing at the edge of the square, observing the quiet pulse of Athens. Goods, labor, money, and attention have flowed steadily through the day, carried by careful, deliberate hands. Imagine the calm assurance that comes from observing such continuity, the rhythm of commerce sustaining life without haste, chaos, or abruptness. In the quiet of the evening, you feel the gentle heartbeat of the city, the soft presence of order, and the enduring patient flow of goods that supports both household and polis. Part 12. Arts, Theater, and Leisure, Gentle Inspirations of the Polis. Imagine stepping into a quiet courtyard in Athens, where the soft morning sunlight casts long, gentle shadows over stone surfaces and scattered mosaics. The city hums softly in the distance, but here, in spaces dedicated to arts and leisure, time seems to flow slower, measured by attention, observation, and quiet creativity. Picture yourself walking along shaded colonnades, hearing the faint scrape of a stylus on wax tablet, the soft strum of a lyre, or the measured brush of charcoal against a wall. Every movement is deliberate, every sound calm, forming a rhythm that nurtures thought, reflection, and gentle inspiration. Consider the artists at work. Painters move slowly, choosing pigments with care, applying strokes that capture the gentle light of morning, the curve of a face, or the sway of a garment. Imagine observing the soft blending of colors, the subtle layering of tones, the attentive patience of hand and eye. Each brushstroke is a meditation, a quiet act of presence, a slow weaving of thought into tangible form. Even a single mark on a wall or tablet carries intention and care, echoing the serene rhythm of life in Athens. Picture sculptors in workshops, chiseling soft marble with measured precision. Imagine the sound of hammer meeting chisel, slow and deliberate, shaping forms with patience and steady focus. Dust rises softly, settling on stone surfaces and the floor, yet it does not disturb the calm rhythm. Every movement reflects observation, care, and subtle understanding of materials, a gentle dialogue between artist and medium that unfolds without haste. Now consider the theater, where performances are prepared with the same deliberate attention. Actors move slowly through their lines, rehearsing gestures, expressions, and pauses with gentle care. Imagine a rehearsal in an open-air space, sunlight filtering through columns, the soft murmur of voices blending with the rustle of garments. Every motion is precise but unhurried, emphasizing clarity, rhythm, and quiet reflection over urgency or spectacle. Even laughter and applause are soft and measured, part of a collective awareness that nurtures calm engagement rather than frenzy. Notice the instruments that accompany performances. Lyres, flutes, and percussion are played gently, the vibrations weaving into the ambient sounds of the city. Imagine a soft note lingering in the air, carrying attention, patience, and reflection. The rhythm is not hurried but steady, inviting listeners to observe and absorb, to feel the gentle pulse of art and music within the larger rhythm of daily life. Consider the spaces of leisure. Courtyards, gardens, and shaded benches provide places for quiet thought, conversation, and gentle recreation. Imagine citizens reclining on simple mats, discussing philosophy, observing the play of light across walls, or sketching with charcoal and ink. The pace is slow, every movement deliberate, every word measured. Even casual interaction becomes a meditation, a gentle flow of ideas and presence shared between participants. Picture children learning the arts. They copy letters on wax tablets, trace simple patterns, practice gestures, or strum small lyres. Imagine a child observing a teacher slowly demonstrating a movement, listening carefully, then repeating it with deliberate attention. Every repetition instills patience, focus, and quiet appreciation for skill. The atmosphere encourages mindful learning, where success is measured in presence and care rather than speed or perfection. Notice the integration of public spaces and artistic activity. Festivals, processions, and communal gatherings often include music, dance, and dramatic performances. Imagine a small performance in a courtyard, citizens seated calmly, observing movement, listening to soft music, and reflecting on the story unfolding. Even communal entertainment unfolds with measured pace. Every gesture, every note, every word, deliberate and infused with care. Consider the artisans who create musical instruments, masks, or costumes. Their work is precise, slow, and methodical. Imagine a craftsman carving a lyre, shaping each curve with careful observation, sanding surfaces with patient hands, and ensuring that every detail resonates with intended sound and aesthetic. Each object is imbued with intention, ready to support performances and celebrations that flow calmly through the city. Think of the rhythm of a typical day in spaces of leisure. Citizens stroll slowly through gardens, observe sculptures, or discuss poetry in soft tones. Imagine their steps measured, gestures subtle, words thoughtful and gentle. Every motion contributes to a quiet awareness of space, presence, and engagement. A calm celebration of observation, reflection, and shared attention. Picture the weaving of myth and story into daily life. Plays, poems, and artworks draw on tales of gods, heroes, and human experience. Imagine listening to a softly spoken story, feeling each pause, each carefully chosen word, echo in the mind like a gentle tide. The narrative unfolds slowly, each detail considered, allowing thought to flow calmly and naturally, like water smoothing stones in a quiet stream. Notice the role of quiet contemplation within arts and leisure. Citizens may pause before a sculpture, observe the pattern of a mosaic, or trace lines of a painted fresco with the eyes. Imagine the soft breath of air, the subtle warmth of sun on skin, and the gentle awareness of texture and form. Every observation deepens understanding, cultivates patience, and nurtures appreciation for the slow, deliberate work of human creativity. Consider the interaction between art and daily routine. Even ordinary object spots, textiles, tools carry aesthetic considerations. Imagine a mother observing the gentle pattern on a woven mat, or a child noticing the curve of a clay cup. Every object becomes part of the calm, contemplative rhythm of life, connecting beauty, function, and thoughtful attention in quiet harmony. Picture the evenings when spaces of leisure shift subtly. Lamps are lit, casting warm, gentle light across courtyards and rooms. Shadows dance softly on walls, creating patterns that invite quiet reflection. Imagine sitting on a stone bench, listening to the gentle strum of a lyre, feeling the cool breeze on skin, and observing citizens as they move through calm evening routines. Every motion, every sound, and every pause forms a continuous, soothing rhythm of creativity and attention. Consider the continuity of learning and appreciation. Elders guide youth in artistic expression, demonstrating slow, deliberate techniques, encouraging careful observation and reflection. Imagine a master gently correcting a posture, adjusting a brushstroke, or demonstrating a musical note. Every instruction delivered with patience and calm care. Knowledge is passed slowly, deliberately, ensuring presence, understanding, and continuity through generations. Now, picture festivals of art and theater. Citizens gather quietly in amphitheaters or open squares, observing performances that unfold slowly, each gesture, line, and movement deliberate. Music and storytelling flow in measured, gentle rhythms, inviting reflection, thought, and calm presence. Imagine the soft applause of recognition, the subtle nods of appreciation, the quiet laughter, all part of a collective, mindful engagement with beauty and narrative. Notice the lasting impression of these gentle engagements. Even brief moments of observation or participation leave traces of calm reflection, patient awareness, and appreciation for human creativity. Imagine carrying these subtle experiences through your day, the rhythm of art and leisure flowing softly alongside work, ritual, and domestic life, forming a continuous, quiet thread through the city. Finally, picture the city at night. The The spaces of art and leisure resting, yet resonating softly with the day's careful rhythms. Lamps flicker, shadows merge, and the gentle echoes of music and story linger in memory. Imagine standing quietly in a courtyard, absorbing the calm flow of creativity, reflection, and presence. Here in Athens, the arts, theater, and leisure nurture mind, body, and spirit through slow, deliberate, and meditative rhythms, a gentle inspiration that flows continuously across time and space. Take a slow, deep breath. Let the calm rhythm of the city, its quiet diligence, and measured presence wash over you. Reflect gently on what you have witnessed and carry the soft resonance of this journey within you. In the gentle hum of life, in the quiet pulse of human endeavor, in the patient unfolding of history, there is a peace that lingers. Until next time, stay safe and see you in the next history.